Oh my gosh, guys, good morning. I hope you are having a great Tuesday wherever you are at across the country, the world, wherever you may be tuning in. I just love how social media can connect us in just so many unique and amazing ways, and how we have this platform to share goodness and kindness with other people and to just lift each other up in business wherever we may be at. And I'm excited to bring this episode today for all of you, this Business Tip Tuesday, to share with you a little bit about just life. I love to grow through this business, and I feel like I've really grown over the past 7 years, and it's incredible to kind of rewind time and look back even at my time hop of where I started my business, my journey through health and fitness, through becoming an influencer, through building this organization and becoming a trainer and a speaker and a podcaster and a blogger, and it just sort of blows my mind. And I know that it is really easy for you to see the highlight reel of social media, to see all the good things. But today, I really want to talk about just obstacles, hardships, life, because I do believe that we all are faced with obstacles in life. And I'm pretty sure that some of you are sitting here right now going, she doesn't understand. She's just had so much success. I'm sure it was just easy for her. She doesn't really know what she's talking about. So we're going to get real and start out by just sharing with you a little story. So it's actually coming up on 1 year. Next week, I will actually pack up and head to Florida, head down south, and we're going to be submersed with about 100 of our team members, 4 houses in Orlando, Florida, where we're hosting a retreat, a leadership retreat for people that are a part of our organization, that's full of team building and fun and masterminding and just celebrating success, getting to know each other. And as we kind of get closer and closer to this event, as much joy as it brings me to serve other women, it also is sort of digging up some soft spots, right? Some soft spots in my heart that I've really been having to work through. So I want to ask you this question right now. Have you ever, can you think of a situation where you have felt like you were totally and completely blindsided and betrayed by somebody that you called a friend, somebody that you worked with, somebody that was a good friend of yours or neighbor, coworker, somebody in your church, in your community? Anybody have a situation where you were literally knocked back about 20 steps, and then it took you a moment to get your bearings and you were like, what the heck just happened to me? So last year, that happened to me. Last year, I went into a retreat, into an event, and I was so excited to pour into my people. And our company at that time was going through a transition, right? So every company has sort of these ups and downs. And throughout that time, there was a lot of shifting. There was a lot of just reevaluation. There was a lot of like, how do we keep our energy and excitement alive while we figure out how to navigate through this sort of transition in the business, right? And obviously we've come out on top. Our business has grown, so that's not a problem. But during that time, I was trying to do everything that I could to create community, to get people together, to give them a voice, to give them a place where they felt like they mattered. Their story mattered. They were important. I wanted to navigate through the emotions and the feelings. And I have this mindset that I can save anybody. And it's like, I never want to like bless and release somebody until I feel like I have exhausted every single opportunity. And I am so kind and caring to the point where sometimes it gets me in trouble because I'm a little bit too trusting in that moment. But for me, right, I went into this situation last year totally blindsided by the fact that people in my organization were actually coming in to an event that I was hosting and then trying to recruit people out. And for me, that would never cross my mind. And the thought of that happening just totally took me back. And I went through this series of emotions, and I watched people now, as I kind of reflect, go through these same series of emotions. And while I, struggled to kind of keep going during that time, I see people that literally unplug, they freeze, they panic, they stop following their passion and their business because of what somebody else has said or did or talked about them in maybe a negative way. And so what I want to use this story, I want to use what I'm about to share with you as a way to empower you to maybe push through and to realize that situations don't happen because you're a bad person. They don't happen because, of where you are in a business or at a certain time or a certain place. They happen for a reason. And there is a way to grow through this. And that's what we're really going to talk about today. So for me, right, in that situation, I had a choice. And I'll tell you, I went through like these 5 emotions, and I'm going to walk you through how I went through emotions. So I want everybody to think of a situation right now where you have felt taken advantage of. Do you have somebody on social media that has come up to you or maybe has made a negative comment about the business that you're running? Maybe they are, they feel threatened by you because you're talking about health and fitness and nutrition, and they tell you that your posts are annoying or that they're gonna block you. Or maybe they say to you, I feel like you're only talking to me because you're trying to sell me something. Or maybe you're afraid to share your business opportunity because you're afraid of what other people are going to think. You have a choice. You can either let it define you or you can grow into this. And I believe that we can all fall into a trap of how will I ever recover from a negative situation? And I am living proof to tell you that you can. But I'm also going to tell you that I would be lying if I didn't say it was hard. I would also be lying if I didn't tell you that I sat on my floor and drank a bottle of wine and cried. I would be lying if I didn't tell you that I doubted my leadership, that I doubted my integrity, that I doubted who I was, because I went through all of those emotions. All right. But here's what came out of it. Number one, I believe that when something happens to us that is challenging our business, our livelihood, or our family, we first start out with this disbelief, like shock. Really? Panic? Oh my gosh, everything is falling down. Oh my gosh, one person said something about me. I bet the whole neighborhood is talking about me. I bet everybody at school is spreading rumors. I bet my whole team is talking about this situation, and we panic and we make decisions, irrational decisions, and we say things that we don't believe or we don't mean in those moments because we are in utter shock and disbelief that somebody would take our kindness and use it against us. That is the first thing that sort of happens. It's this disbelief, this shock that I can't believe that this is happening. The second thing that we go through is this whole, like, we project it onto us. How will I ever be able to recover this? How will I ever be able to become an amazing leader, right? If I can't even keep my people in my organization, right? What did I do wrong? It was my fault. I should have had a better personal relationship. I should have mentored them more. I should have gotten on the phone. I should have, X, Y, and Z. Insert all of the things you think that you could have done to fix the problem. Anger is another one that we start to, how could somebody use my kindness this way? We get really angry and we start to put up these walls, and then we become resentful, and we start to kind of conjure up these stories in our minds. And the next thing that we go through is defensiveness. How many of you maybe done this yourself, where you went on the defense and you just started to say, okay, I'm just going to block everybody and I'm going to call people out and I'm going to over explain and I'm going to over validate on social media why I made the decision. And we start putting things out there that are inappropriate. We're trying to validate why we're doing what we're doing or why we are making the decisions that we are. And all of those things, now I didn't necessarily go talk about that, but I felt like I needed to validate my leadership and my worth and who I was and my integrity, in that piece of that part. But then there became this part where I started to have this acceptance, where I started to say to myself, look, and this was months and months and months of talking it over and talking to people and going through the scenarios in my mind, where I took this step back and I realized, look, everybody has a choice. Everybody in life has a choice. They have a choice of the way they can handle a situation. Everybody has a choice to choose a different direction, to choose a different path, a different career, something that makes them passionate, right? In the next stage of their life, in the next stage of their game. And who am I to tell somebody that that path is right or wrong? And what I've learned in this process is the best way to go about it is to literally list out facts and to say, this is the facts. These are the things that I can control. These are the things that I learned from this situation. And this is what I would do differently. And so from that specific situation, I took a step back and I said, what are the truths? Out of the things people have said about me or have done or have posted on social media, what are the truths? And because I know I can read between the lines. And for me, this was how I got through it. These are the truths, and this is what I know to be true. I know that I come from a kind place. I know that I operate with integrity. I know that I am not perfect. I know that I'm very business-minded. I know that, I'm always there for people when they need business advice, and sometimes I lack on the emotional side. But it's something I'm aware of, and it's something that I work on every single day, right? Then I said to myself, what can I do to change the situation, or not change the situation, but what can I do to make sure that this may not happen again? Or that if it does happen again, I address it differently. Or what can I do to make sure that I'm not just addressing business, but emotional component, community, and culture, everything together? How can I listen better? What questions can I ask? How can I be more supportive emotionally and in the business frame? And so for me, it became this whole fact finding, like truth, what can I change? What are the things that I can't control? And what can I do to move forward? And what I've learned from this whole situation is this. We can't, you can't convince anybody of what they should or should not do. And when you start to try to convince people, people just see that and then they understand that, okay, you're just in it because you're trying to sway people in your direction. So for me, right, even with my business now, I always find that I don't want to convince people that they need to drink Shakeology and they need to do Beachbody on demand. I don't want to convince people that Beachbody is the best business opportunity out there. I don't want to convince people. I want to show you by leading by example, by always remaining positive, optimistic, authentic, sharing the real me, showing my vulnerable points where I've struggled and how I've overcome it. I want to show you what this lifestyle has done for me. And then I want to give you the opportunity to decide whether or not it fits for you. I don't believe that in this business we should ever be convincing people to stay or to go. I believe that we should inspire and motivate, tell stories, be authentic, and always high road it. I believe that we will always come back in contact with people at some point in our life, some way, shape, or form. And I want you to know, right, that it's not about convincing people, but it's about saying, here is a better solution. This is what has worked for me. Maybe you're looking for something different. Maybe you're struggling in this area. This can help you. And I will always be here to rise up to the top no matter what. All right. So what can you do if situations like this may happen to you? Somebody attacks you professionally or personally or in your neighborhood. You always high road it, right? You always say to yourself, whatever I say, I can't take back. Whatever I write, I can never delete. Somebody always can take it and screenshot it. But how do I act in a professional manner, right? What do? I show up consistently and we provide value, my friends. We use influence for positive impact. There is way too much negativity and negative influence out there, and we don't want to use that, right, as our platform. Let's use this platform for good. Let's be authentic. Let's stay rooted and grounded in who we are, and let's motivate others. My friends, at the end of the day, here is the bottom line. Getting hurt didn't take my stage away from me. It didn't. Right? It doesn't take the stage away from you either. The only person that takes the stage away from you is you. And I was listening to a podcast, and the episode that I was listening to, they were talking about Britney Spears. I thought it was a really good one, right? So Britney Spears, right? Remember, do you guys remember way back when she was like incredible and this amazing rock star singer, and then she like went AWOL and shaved her head and went into a mental institution and like went MIA for 7 years. So what did she do? She got her shit together. She picked herself back up by her bootstraps, and she is rocking the stage in Vegas right now, putting on these incredible shows. Nobody took that platform away from her. She chose to say, I'm going to turn this mess into my message. I'm going to show people that no matter what they go through in life, they can recover from it. They can rise to the top. They can redeem themselves. They can show people how to get through a tough situation, and they can use that mess as their message and that platform to help them grow and live on and inspire other people to go out there and do incredible things. So my friends, here you all are, and you are listening to this because you are in a business of influence. And there are going to be situations and times where you are faced with a challenge, an attack, an accusation, something. And you have a choice of how you're going to let that influence or impact your future and your journey. And I want you to remember some of the things we talked about today. And maybe you'll file this away and you'll come back someday in the future when you have a situation maybe somewhat similar. And I want you to know that you can rise up and you can be successful no matter what. All right? Okay, so I hope that this was helpful. Oh my gosh. Hi. Hello, Alyssa. So hopefully this was helpful, guys. And I hope you have a great day. Tag somebody who might be going through something rough right now, might be going through those stages of grief that I explained earlier. Give them some words of encouragement and let them know that there is a community of women out there that want to see you succeed. We don't want to see you fail. We're going to link arms together, and we are going to get through all the muckiness and the messiness that life can possibly throw at us, because that's what we do. We are a tribe that lifts each other up. All right, my friends, have a great Tuesday. Go out there and rock your goals and rock your month. Bye, everybody.